What if I told you that the thing that you're chasing, the success, the fame, money, relationship, house, job, isn't what you actually want? I spent over 20 years chasing these things and obtaining most of them, only to end up just as unsatisfied and empty as I was at the start. I'm gonna save you years of disappointment, misery, and frustration in this video. I'm going to share with you some hard truths that I wish I had known sooner. I'm fortunate to have learned these pretty early, but no matter what age you are, these are going to make the rest of your years worthwhile. So we all think that getting the perfect body, relationship, job, or those kinds of things outside of ourselves is what's going to make us happy. We chase these things, we stress ourselves out, we beat ourselves up in an attempt to get these things, and once we get them, we're happy for a little bit. But eventually, that pleasure, that satisfaction fades away, and we're right back where we started. You know the feeling. You finally land the job you want, or you buy something online and you're so eager to get it, and once you get those things, it feels good for a little bit, but then that feeling goes away. The truth is that happiness and well-being are cultivated internally. They're not found outside of yourself. We all live in this delusion that changing the world around us is what's going to make us happy, and if we can just get things exactly how we want them to, then we're going to be good. But think about how foolish that is. You're never going to be able to get the people around you to behave the way you want, to get the weather to be exactly how you want it to. The forces outside of you are not under your control, so relying on those as your source of happiness is a losing battle. It's a recipe for frustration and stress. Happiness and peace are found within yourself. They're found in the acceptance of how things are exactly as they are. However your body is right now, however your financial situation is right now, your relationships, the feelings in your body, and the thoughts in your mind. If you fight against these things, if you wish any of these things weren't the way that they are, exactly as they are right now, you're going to suffer. You're not going to be well. So happiness and peace are a complete surrender and acceptance to the reality as it is right now in this moment. And that brings us to our second point, which is that there is no future and there is no past. There is only ever the present moment. And this isn't some cliche to just live in the present. It's an actual truth of reality. At this point, anything that you consider the past is just your memory, just your imagination of what happened. The future is also just your imagination. Both of those just live in your mind. The eternal present is all that there ever is. If you're anxious, it's because you're living in the future. You're worried about future events, and you're not here right now. If you're depressed, you're living the past. If you have feelings of guilt, you have feelings of shame, you're living in the past. Most of us are never actually here and present right now. We're off in the past, remembering some negative thing that happened to us, replaying it in our heads, or reliving some great thing that happened to us and trying to relive that. Or we're projecting ourselves into the future, constantly worrying and trying to strategize and plan for worst case scenarios, thinking, oh, if I can just make sure that this happens, or if I can just avoid this from happening, then I'll be okay. It's always the then I'll be okay, then I'll be happy. No, you gotta come back to right now. Now is all there is. If you're not here right now, you're not living. You're literally missing the gift of life. Does that mean we can't plan for the future or look back into our past and remember some things? No, it doesn't mean that. It simply means that even when you're planning for the future or you're looking back into the past, be here right now as you do that. And don't think that you can ever change something from the past, or that having the future go just the way you plan or just the way you want it to is what's going to make you happy. Because things always don't go as planned. And even if they go as planned, again, it's just back to the initial point, which is it's going to make you feel good temporarily, but then you're just going to relapse back into your baseline state. So you can make changes in the external world, you can plan for the future, but don't let that be the source of your well-being and happiness. Be happy and find well-being and peace here and now, and let that affect your planning, and let that affect how you change the world out there. Because if you do everything from a place of, if I can get this, then I'll be happy, you're gonna do all kinds of harmful things to yourself and the people around you in order to get what you want. But instead, if you already feel well inside, you already feel abundance, then all your actions and all your changes in the world will come from that place. And you'll naturally do things that aren't harmful to others. You won't have to try to be good. In my past, I've ruined great relationships and hurt a lot of feelings in an attempt to find well-being. I would try to change people. I would try to tell them what to do and what not to do, thinking that I knew best. When in reality, it was just coming out of my own fear. My fear that if things didn't go the way that I thought they should, that I wouldn't be okay. I've since learned to let people be. People are gonna do what they're gonna do. And there's very little outside in the world that is under your control. So focus on being tolerant and accepting of all this instead of trying to control everything. Another thing I wish I knew sooner was to trust my own intuition, to trust my own heart. I spend a lot of time seeking other people's approval and making the safe choices, being discouraged by my parents and other people who I thought might have known better than me. Whether it was to follow some passion or some hobby or just take some risk that sounded and felt good to me. When I would bring these ideas up to other people, they would warn me, oh, but what if this happens? What if that happens? And then I would let myself get discouraged and I'd be like, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe I should just go along with their advice and play it safe. But if you follow your heart and you fail, you learn. If you follow someone else's advice and you fail, you'll blame. If you follow someone else's advice and you succeed, you'll lose your own intuition and you'll lose confidence. It's better to fail following your own intuition than it is to succeed following somebody else's. Because making mistakes is not the worst thing that can happen to you. It's actually a great thing. You learn from it, you become better, you recalibrate, and you go from there. You grow stronger, you grow wiser. Being inauthentic to yourself, losing connection with your intuition and heart is the worst thing that can happen to you. If you follow other people's advice and you just do what they tell you to do, you're never gonna learn, you're never gonna grow. Even if you succeed that way, you're always gonna have this sense of fear, this sense of insecurity, because you're relying on somebody else. If you're given things from other people, you're always gonna be living with the fear that, what if this is taken away? What if I lose this? I won't be able to get it back. But when you're able to create things yourself, when you're able to make your own decisions and learn from them and grow from them and build your own skills and intuition, that's something that can never be taken away from you. And that's going to give you much more of a sense of strength and confidence. If you could even just get the bare essentials to survive yourself with your own skills, you'll feel a lot better inside than if somebody else spoils you with luxury and lavish living. Even though you have more in the latter case, deep down you know you're not the source of that. And thus, even though your outer life will look good, your inner life will be scared and insecure. Now, this doesn't mean you can't listen to other people's advice or hear out other people's opinion, but only take it and only put it into action if it truly resonates with you. And if you do that, take full ownership, take full accountability for that. At that point, it's your decision, it's your choice. It's not theirs anymore. Do it because you know that it's right for you. And even if you fail or you make a mistake, take responsibility for that, learn from it, grow from it, and you'll be much better off. Another thing that I wish I had learned sooner was to learn to put yourself first. Being selfish doesn't have to be a negative thing. We've all heard the analogy a million times. The airplane analogy where you put on your own oxygen mask before you put on the person next to you's mask. Because you can't take care of other people unless you take care of yourself first. I had a huge problem with wanting to please other people, with wanting to make sure everyone else was good first. And it led to me neglecting myself for a very long time. And these other people in your life, they may stick around and they may not. And you may invest a lot into these other people just for them not to be there in your life anymore. The only person you can guarantee that's going to be there your whole life is you. So you got to make sure you're taken care of first. That doesn't mean you have to completely neglect or be rude or impolite to other people. It just means you can't fill other people's cup unless yours is filled first. I also made the mistake of thinking that focusing on other people and putting them first was me being selfless and helpful. But what I realized was it was just another way to get what I wanted at the end of the day, which was to be okay, to be well, to feel good inside. And that was just my way of doing it. I would help them out, I would support them, give them everything they need, and hope that they would do that for me in return. But then I would get frustrated and I would get upset when they didn't do the same thing. But that was unfair of me to put those expectations on them in the first place. It's not their job to make me happy. It's not their job to return the favor of what I do for them. See, I learned that love is giving without any expectation of anything in return. So what I was doing, I thought was being loving, was actually a transactional interaction. And because I wasn't getting my end of the bargain, it hurt the relationship, it built resentment in me, and I neglected myself and was worse off for that. So I've learned that the only person you could really rely on is yourself to meet your needs. Any positive relationship or interaction with other people is just a bonus. And the last lesson for this video that I wish I knew sooner was nothing lasts forever. Everything changes. The only truth to this reality is change. We all grow old, we all die. All your loved ones will eventually pass away. You could be in a great relationship, you could have a great job and be riding that high, but if you're clinging to that, if you're attached to that, you're gonna suffer because eventually that's gonna change too. And that goes for the negative things as well. Any pain that you feel, any hardship that you're going through, any difficult circumstance, it's also going to change. A lot of the time we suffer so much the difficulties we're going through because we project ourselves into the future thinking that it's always going to be this way. This isn't going to go away. But every moment that you're in the present, you're already bearing that hardship, and eventually it'll change too. So the feelings that you feel in your body, whether pleasurable or unpleasurable, the thoughts you have in your mind, your living situation, your friends, your family, your job, your financial situation, all of that, it's gonna change. Resisting this change is probably one of the deepest core causes of suffering. The sooner you accept that this is the reality, that change is the reality, the sooner that you're gonna be well inside, the sooner you're gonna be able to face life and live without that deep, deep fear inside of you. So I challenge you to take these principles and actually apply them. It's really easy to just go, yeah, those make sense, that's true. But it doesn't get deep inside of you and you still have the same issues. You still go on with your day anxious, depressed, worried, miserable, unhappy, looking for something out there, looking into the future. Instead, let these sink in so you can really start living right now. No matter how old you are, like I said, whether you're 70, whether you're 18, whether you have 1 year of life left or you have 80, all that matters is the quality of your life and the quality of your well-being now and moving into the future. So I urge you to internalize these truths, internalize these lessons as early as you can. And if you don't, it's okay. Most of us have to learn the hard way. I did, and if you do too, that's definitely okay. Wisdom is often on the opposite side of pain. But just understand that these things aren't just about being happier, they're about being free. So if any of these things helped you out or resonated with you, I hope that you share it with somebody that might find it helpful as well. Subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.